Okay, so you can see it went back to 20. This is part 2 of editing your WordPress theme with Firefox and a couple of extensions. So we changed it from 20 to 30, and I changed it back to 20 using Firefox, Firebug, and FireFTP along with a text editor. So let's see, what else can we do on the home page for the responsive theme? Something that's been difficult to get a straight answer for, a really simple answer for. These titles inside the home widgets. Excuse me. Let me get some tea. Okay, let's see. Web design, web hosting, and domain name. A little big. Let's see what we can do about that. Let's right click, use the same process, inspect element with Firebug, and boom, our buddy Firebug. It identifies it, says it has a heading size of H3, and it's highlighted. Of course, it highlights whatever you're working on. Boom. And let's see, it brings up all the stuff associated with that. So on this one, it's a little bit different. They have some stuff listed here, but I don't see font size. Oh, there it is. And it's listed differently than Pixel. So it's still the font size. So don't spend a lot of time trying to figure out what all this stuff means. Eventually you'll have time, you know, when there's nothing on TV or whatever, to look these up and play around and read a book. You know, I'm studying CSS and PHP on the side, but meanwhile I need to edit my site. So anyway, here's the font size, and just to show you an example of Firebug again, what if I turn this weight off, which just means how bold it is? See how it changed? It got thinner, lost weight. On, off, on, off. So this is going to allow us to test. So right now the font size is 1.875. Let's change that to just 8.75. Look at that, they shrunk. Okay, it's a little smaller, way smaller than I want it, but I want it smaller than what it was. So what if I change this to just 9? Hey, it got a little bigger. So you see how you can play around with this. I can just take these numbers up, 75, take it up to 99 or whatever, and bring it up to wherever I want. I can customize it. So let's just leave it at that for right now. Originally it was 1.875. Remember that. Okay. And now let's go ahead and find that in our FTP. Remember, we're working in the style sheet, and it's for this particular change we want to make. It says line number 1132. So once again, we opened up our FireFTP, log into our host, and right click on the style sheet, go to open with. I use Notepad++, and I've already kind of done that, so save a little time for the video. And remember, it told us 1132 for the font size. Okay, so let's see, 1132, and there we are. Remember, it was 1.875, and that's what the inspector told us. So now we're going to edit that, get rid of that one there, and we're going to change it to, let's see, what did I do? 975. That's what I wanted to play around with, and Firebug let me experiment with that number, so let's just use that. So I'll change that to 975. I'll click save. Now that I've saved it on the server, I need to go back and refresh so the server logs those changes. We go back to our site and refresh, and that 975 should stick. And boom, I just changed the header font size inside of the widgets. One of the hardest things to find out when you start searching around. It seems like all the answers are really complicated, and I just did it in the blink of an eye. And right now, I'm going to put it back to where it was. Once again, you right click on whatever you want to change. It's already open down here. It gets highlighted. You double check, because if you hover over it, it'll put a color on it. Okay. You go over here. All the information for that particular item is right here. Remember, we were editing the font size on line 1132 inside of our host on the actual style sheet, which, you know, they recommend being in a child theme, but nevertheless, we're editing the style sheet. I have it opened up inside of my Notepad++, and line 1132, I changed that to 975. I'm going to change it back to 1.875. Add a 1, and save. Now I'm done with that. Now I can close my text editor and refresh my server so that it logs the changes. Go back to my site. Now the 975.975 should change back to 1.875. And my tiny labels now should go back to the way they were once I refresh the page. Boom, and there you have it. 1.875, that's the result of the live edit I did on my server, thanks to FireFTP and a text editor. And so, folks, I hope this has been helpful. This is part 2. This will conclude this little section on titles and how to use FireFTP and Firebug to edit content on your site. You can right click on anything and choose inspect with Firebug, and it'll bring it right up. Here's my slider. It's got it right there, feature slide. Boom, it tells you the height and everything about it. Okay, click on that. It takes you to all the assignments for it. There's the weight, the font, and different items. And as you can see, it's live, so it's changing as the slides change. You see that little jerking motion. The information is updating live on the web. As the slides change, so does the code right there. It goes to the next slide. So it's pretty awesome. Firebug is just awesome. Great for beginners, even if you don't know code and all that stuff. I know people who know code and everything, and when I showed them this, they were just like, they were just mumbling under their breath. Okay, so these are some really powerful tools, and that's what mindvisionmedia.net is all about. I'm trying to help others. I've been doing webs for a while, and you know, sometimes it can be really frustrating trying to learn specific things. You know, I don't want to learn a whole language of scripting just to figure out how to do repetitive things that I'm going to be doing over and over and over and over and over in CSS. I shouldn't have to know the entire CSS language unless I aspire to be a CSS coder. So once again, I hope this helped. This is Allan from mindvisionmedia.net. Please give us a visit, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Alrighty, take care.